In today's video, I am participating in Crafted by Corie's Minis Challenge, and this month's theme is Christmas in July. If we haven't met, my name is Tammy, and this is lamascreationsdiy. I'll have everyone's link and the playlist link in my description box. Let's start crafting. I picked up these two plasticky plates from Walmart. They're like 97 a piece, and I have this thimble. No, that there. I spray painted half white and half green, and I spray painted this chair rung in green. Now what I'm doing is taking my painter's tape and I'm going to wrap it around the chair rung in kind of like an angular motion, and then I'm going to paint the parts where there's no paint in my red chalk paint. I had added some tape onto the plate in the middles, so this way when I glue everything together it would stick better. I wasn't really liking the green that was on there. It wasn't giving me the good feelings, so I took some green acrylic paint, added in some black chalk paint, and painted over top again. I just wasn't liking that green. Next, taking these two little blocks, I'm going to sand them down, and then we're going to glue them together. I guess I don't show you putting the thing together, but okay. I'm now going to take my deep red acrylic paint and paint the entire thing. Then, taking some Mod Podge, I lay it on top, and I found these stickers in my stash, and I'm going to spell out some words. First, putting down Christmas with the stickers. Then I Mod Podge on top to make sure all those stickers stay on. Now, taking this wording that I printed off, I'm going to slide some carbon paper underneath, go over it with my pen and transfer my wording onto my little board, and then go over it with my marker. I have this red and white checked ribbon that I believe I got from Dollar Tree here in Canada. Wrap it around, trim it off, glue it on the bottom, and then I make a cute little bow out of the same ribbon, gluing it together with some hot glue, trimming off the ends. I'm going to glue it into the middle on top, add a cute little gold bell, and that one is done. I also picked up one of these little crates from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to use the outside of that little box. I also have these little tiny MDF squares, and what I'm going to do is we're going to glue them on the angle on top, making a roof. And I just use hot glue and slide it in and glue it until it's all nice and set. Taking some modeling clay, I'm going to roll it out in a long thin line and shape it as a door. And then I continue doing it, making different sizes of windows. When they were dry, I take some tacky glue, paint it onto the back, and glue it down into place. I do that to all of them. I paint the entire thing with my burnt umber acrylic paint, except for the windows, and then I paint the inside of the windows with my yellow acrylic paint. The inside of the door is going to be green. And then I go around the outsides with my metallic silver Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint. And I just go in with a little detail brush, making sure to get into all the little corners. Next, I found these two little bottle brush trees. We're going to add some hot glue and glue them under the roof on either side. And then I add in some pillow stuffing around to make it look like snow. You can skip the snow part because in the end you don't see it. I have these craft sticks in my stash. They're kind of fancy looking. So I took some and I cut the little ridges off, 3 of the ridges, And then I took the rest of that one piece that I cut off and I alternated red and green going along the stick. And I make 2 of these. Then I add another little stick on top to hold it all in together. And I glue it to the front. And then I make one for the other side as well. Taking some glue, hot glue, I'm just going to let it go all down the roof, any which way it wants to go. And then we're going to add some on top of the little fences and on top of the doors and the windows and on the window ledges. And we're going to let those dry. Just any willy-nilly way. Taking some more hot glue, adding it to the roof, and this fake snow stuff, we're going to glue it onto the roof. And then I use some spray adhesive on top to help it all stick better so it doesn't all fall off. Then I take white acrylic paint and all that glue that we let go willy-nilly, I paint all over it. I paint the glue, blah, blah, blah. I paint the glue, making it look like snow. Getting tongue-tied. Now I have this little sign in my stash. I'm going to take it all apart, take out those staples, give it a little sanding, and I paint it with my Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in Java. On the other side, I'm going to grab some Christmas wrapping paper, add some glue stick to the back of the sign, place it down, and then trim it all off. And that way the underside is all nice and pretty looking. Using my little finger sander, in a downward motion, get all the extra off, making it all nice and smooth. Taking our little Santa house, we're going to mark off where we want to glue it, because I always tend to glue it wrong. Add some glue around the bottom of this little box and glue it onto the bottom, giving it a base. Taking some more stuffing from a pillow, we're going to place it around all over the base. And then I found these rocks in my stash. I'm going to sort through them and try and make a cute little rock pathway. And using some Eileen's tacky glue and hot glue. No, I don't use hot glue for this. Just the tacky glue. I glue them all down. I found these picks in my stash that I had from last year. I cut 2 of them down and I glue them on either side of the door, making them look like little tree bushes, little snowy tree bushes. Add a little tiny silver bead for a door handle. And then I take a popsicle stick, regular size one, trim it down to size, paint it white. I also painted a star yellow. And then I dry brush some white along the house to give it that snowy look. And with a black paint marker, I write on Santa's house, or just Santa's. Santa's. Glue it on top of the door. And then I glue the little star on the peak. And Santa's house is done. I found these bandanas at Dollarama. I'm going to take a half of a piece. And then we're going to cut that half of a piece in half. I add some rocks to the bottom to give it some weight. Some stuffing on top. Wrap it up. And then I add a little elastic on top to hold it all into place. Trim off any extra. And then taking some more of that bandana, I'm going to cut I think it's a 6x6 square, and we're going to roll it into like a cone shape, trimming off any extra that I have. And cutting it even. I'm going to add a little gold bell for the nose. We're making a little gnome if you haven't noticed. Add his little hat on. Tacking it down with some glue around his nose and all around the edges. I found my fuzzy fur stuff in my stash. We're going to cut off a little piece and add that to the brim of the hat. Just hot gluing all the way around. I add another little fuzzy piece to the end of the hat, the tip of the hat. And then we add his beard. Fold that little hat down, tack it in with some glue, and your little Santa gnome is done. Taking the same bandana, the other half, I'm going to draw out a mitt. I folded it in half, and I'm going to cut them all out. We need 4 of these. Taking some hot glue, we're going to glue all the edges all the way around. And then I flipped them the right side way in, which was really hard to do. I had to get a little pen up in there to try and get the thumb out, my baby finger up in there. Yeah, it was fun. I found my this ribbon here in my stash. I'm going to glue it one end to either side of the mitt. Stuff the mitts with some stuffing. Add some fuzzy stuff around the edge of the mitt. And at the same time, we're gluing it closed. And then I glue the two together. And these cute little mitts are done. Santa's mitts. Taking some more modeling clay, I'm going to roll it out. And we're going to shape them into candy canes. And I make 3 of these. I'm going to paint them white when they're all nice and dry. And then taking some skinny washi tape, we're going to wrap it around the candy canes. And we're going to paint it red. Take off that washi tape. And we've got some cute little candy canes. I had this little wood plaque that fell apart in my stash. Oh, we can still use it. I'm going to paint the frame with burnt umber and paint the backing with white. I'm going to take this hot chocolate mug, steaming hot chocolate, tape it down to the white board, slide some carbon paper underneath, and with my pen, I'm going to trace over my image so that way it transfers onto my board. If you have a Cricut, you can use a Cricut. You can hand free it. And then using various paint markers and paint, I'm going to color in my mug. Taking some wording that I printed off and doing the same technique, I transfer that onto my board, and then I go over it with some brown burnt umber paint. I outline it with some green just to give the words a little more oomph and so you can see them a little better. And now we're going to glue it onto the backing. No, we're going to glue it onto the frame. Just with some hot glue, adding some hot glue to the frame, put the backing on. And then I took some of these they're little vase fillers in gold, added a 3 to the bottom, and I add 3 to the top left. Taking a clothespin, I add it to the back for a stand, and that cute little sign is almost done. We're just going to paint in around the edge so that white edge isn't there. It just kind of blends in with the frame. Now I have this little sign. I'm going to sand it down the best I can, trying to get any of that paper off. We're going to cover it, but that paper drives me crazy because it sticks over the edge. I'm going to fill in the little hole with some spackling because we're not using it as a hangy thingy. And we're going to paint it with my home decor chalk paint in the color sheepskin. Taking some more skinny washi tape, I'm going to go around on the outer edge vertically and then also horizontally. And I do 2 on all the sides. Then, making sure everything is stuck, we're going to paint on the outside of these little tapes with red. Taking off all the washi tape after everything is dry. And then with some wording that I printed off, again, sliding some carbon paper underneath and tracing it over, getting my image on there. And then we go over it with a black paint marker. Like I said before, if you have a Cricut, you could do it that way. You could hand free it. I'm just not very good at doing it hand free. I found this scrapbooking paper in my stash using some glue from a glue stick. I'm going to stick it to the paper, trim it out, add a little bow to the corner with a little gold bell. And then again, using the other side of a clothespin, we're going to glue it to the back, and it has a nice little stand. And here is everything all together. I added ribbon to that piece between the on the tier tray. Sorry, I'm lost for words. I love it. Makes me excited to make stuff for Christmas, but I don't want Christmas yet. I'd like to thank Corie for hosting this challenge. I always have fun participating. Many things are always fun to create. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like this video, and don't forget that little bell. If you're a returning subscriber, hey, welcome back. Always happy to see you. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Bye.